Hello and welcome to the Crazy Sock Lady YouTube channel. My name is Kay. I am the woman behind Crazy Sock Lady. I am the owner of Crazy Sock Lady Co. And I'm here to share my 2021 year in review and also what I've been working on. So today is Monday, January 10th. It's 9:37 in the morning. Eric is off at work. My husband, the boys are at school. I've got some coffee here in a beautiful mug that came in a box, I think it was a box of Hygge from a homespun house. Love it so much. So I'm still enjoying my coffee this morning. I've been doing a little bit of knitting. And it's been a while since I've been on here. I did Vlogmas, so if you want to see what I got up to throughout the month of December leading up to Christmas, there is a 2021 Vlogmas playlist that you can check out. But other than that, I haven't put any videos up, none, since November, I think was the last actual sit down, talk to you episode that I did. I did not bring any finished objects to share other than what I am wearing. I'll talk about that in just a moment. I just thought we'd start kind of fresh, and I'll do the year in review with all of my knitting, kind of the stats, and then we'll just talk about what I've been working on. So kind of starting with a clean slate here in 2022. I did not say where you can find me. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as The Crazy Sock Lady. And I will have links down below for the places that you can find me, and I will also link down below my Ravelry project pages. If there is something that I am working on or I talk about that is a project of mine and you want more details on that, check out the Ravelry project pages. I always have those linked down below, and that's where you can find out all of the information on my projects. All right, so 2021 year in review. So I did keep up with my making journal. Look how crazy this looks. Totally insane. I had enough pages. I was very excited. I even have some extra pages that I didn't end up using in the back, but yeah, pretty crazy. Glad it has a thing on it to hold it together. Kind of bummed that that's something my new one does not have, but yeah, so this makes it super easy to do my year in review, my stats of what I knit, how many things I knit. So I've talked more about this. I did talk about it some on a Vlogmas episode as well, so I'm not going to go into too much detail on the making journal because I have done that on Vlogmas. But basically, I just have on a page here all of my whips that I took into 2021, and then as I finished those or frogged them, I marked them off. So the only whips that I brought into 2021 and then also into 2022 are my scrappy blankets, which, you know, that's okay. Then I just went through and broke it down by month. That's the start of January, and I have all of my January projects, and then I was trying to find the end of January here. There we go. I have a January totals. So I broke it down by month to make it super easy at the end of the year to just go back and look at each month's breakdown to see how many items I finished each month, add those up to get my yearly total. So that's kind of a rundown. I only put finished objects in here. Then I put a picture, some little pieces of the yarn label, details, any notes. I kind of used it as a journal as well, just here and there if there was something particular going on or something as I worked on a project. So for my yearly totals, I finished a total of 89 projects in 2021. I finished the breakdown of each item. Christmas stockings, I knit 4. Dishcloths, I only knit 2. Shawls, I knit 2. Hats, 5. Sweaters, 4. and socks 72. Now, I mean, I guess I should say I finished that many. Like, there was a shawl that was brought over into the new year that basically it needed I was gonna do a border. I decided not to, so all I had to do was weave in the ends. So some things, you know, it's just that I finished them, they were whips. But yes, that is the breakdown. 72 pairs of socks. I always get asked how many socks I knit in the year. So there you go. That is my breakdown of my finished objects from 2021. I do have project pages for all of them if you want to go back and look through what projects I did finish. I did decide to do another making journal for 2022. I just had fun tracking my projects that way. I am so much more of a paper and pen person versus a technology savvy person. I just enjoy tracking on paper more than I do my Ravelry project pages only so that y'all have that information there. Otherwise, I don't know that I would, if I'm being honest, just because I would rather track it in a book like this. So this is my new one. I do have these. I believe there's still some in stock over at Crazy Sock Lady Co. If you want one of these, I just love that it's like the craft paper and it lays pretty flat. So I like that. Downsides to this one versus this one is this is a softer cover, so it has already gotten bent a little bit. This is hard, so that makes it a little bit more sturdy. But what am I really gonna do with this? It got bent up because I brought it home from the office. It'll probably go back to the office and stay there, and then it'll be fine. And I did like that this has a band around it. I could just add something, you know, around here, and then I would have the same thing. So I am tracking, sorry, I'm putting my thing back at the end of the year totals. Let's see, I did track, I put the same thing in the front, all of my whips that I brought from 2021 into 2022. There were 3 scrappy blankets and then 7 other projects. And I actually need to go in and update. I finished another pair of the socks that I brought into the year as a whip. So I've already got some things tracked in here. Yeah, I just think this is a great way. This works for me to track, and I know some people will use like Excel spreadsheets, and I've tried those before and they just don't work for me. So this is a great way. I break it down by month, like I said, and then do my year-end totals. And I'm definitely not like a journaling, big planner type of person, but just having just a notebook even, like it just works better for me to track all of my finished objects. All right, now let's talk about what I'm wearing first, because I will forget otherwise. So this is my Bean and Olive pullover. Bean and Olive Grown Up is the name of the pattern. It is by Andrea Mowry. I used Knit Picks Swish DK. It's been a while since I've talked about this one, in Dove Heather. And I think the orange is Allspice, if I'm not mistaken. Stand up here so you can see what it looks like. I did do little hearts on the sleeve. So the pattern actually calls for like these zigzags on the sleeve, but I just didn't like that. Like, to me, the hearts seem more delicate and kind of what I was looking for. So I did the little hearts on the sleeve, and the only change I made to the pattern aside from that is that I did not do any decreasing on the sleeves. I don't like fitted sleeves. I rarely ever do any decreases on my sleeves. I saw Amy of Noble Character Crafts. That's where I kind of got that idea that it was okay to do that from, because she does the same thing. So I didn't do any decreases, and then I think I might have, for the hearts, had to decrease down to a certain amount, I can't recall, to make sure that my stitch count was okay to be able to do the heart repeat around. And then I just did a rapid decrease after the hearts to get down to the amount that I needed for the ribbing. And that was just one round of me doing as many decreases as I needed to within that round to get to that stitch count. So you can probably hear Dexter getting a drink of water. So that's the only other change I made to this pattern. I am very, very happy with how this turned out. I would totally knit myself another one. Maybe I will in the future in kind of a like cranberry color instead of the orange, because that is my favorite color, is like a cranberry, snazberry, like my Jeep. That's my favorite. All right, what I've been working on, like I said, I didn't bring any. I have finished a couple of things since Vlogmas, but I didn't feel like digging them out. Some of them I've already like gifted Eric socks, and I just wanted to just start fresh. So we're just gonna talk about what I've been working on, my active whips. What should we start with? I thought Dexter was gonna nap while we did this, but he is awake. Okay, let's start with some socks. I have these in a bag by Stitching Plaza. This was from, I think it was a kit that her and Meg of Bad Wolf Girl, gosh, I think her yarn was Bad Wolf Girl Studios. She hasn't been dyeing yarn anymore, but Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits. So this was a bag from that, Doctor Who. And I have some Doctor Who yarn in it, which is why I grabbed this bag. So this is by Bumblebee Acres on their squishy sock base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, fingering weight. The colorway is Space Time Continuum, Doctor Who inspired. And I do think that they might be bringing their Doctor Who stuff back. So if you like this, definitely sign up for their newsletter and keep your eyes out, keep your eyes peeled. Look how stunning this color is. I bought this ages ago. I do not even know how long it has been in my stash. And I was just kind of itching to pull something deep stash out and make a pair of socks with it. So I've got the heel done. This is just the first sock. So good. And I am doing String of Lights by SockWitchery. This pattern is so fun and easy and mindless to do. And Eric loves the fit of it. I've knit him a pair. Yeah, I gifted them to him for Christmas, and he loves the fit of those socks in this pattern. So I thought that's perfect. I'll go ahead and do that pattern for these. I have a fudge round progress keeper on there from the Gnome Knitter. And that's my first whip. These have not, honestly, I haven't worked on these a ton. I can't remember when I started them, but I'm enjoying it, but I've just been so in love with this sweater that I'm working on. That is what I've been picking up the most. Let's show the sweater. This is in a bag that Jenny of Mountain State Stitches gifted me. Little Dexters on it. So cute. And I am working on a cabled sweater. So if you watched Vlogmas, I don't remember if I talked about it on the last podcast episode, but I talked about it on Vlogmas. The crazy cabled sweater cowl that I am co-hosting with Lindsay of SockWitchery. And oh my goodness. So first, before I forget, the cowl, it's just an adult garment. It could be like a poncho, a cardigan, a pullover, anything with lots of cables. I had somebody ask, like, if there's just cables in just the ribbing, does that count? No, it doesn't have to be an insane amount of cables, but it needs to be a cabled garment. The chatter thread is in the SockWitchery Ravelry group, and the FO thread is in my Ravelry group. All the details for the cowl are listed in those Ravelry groups, and it started January 1st, and it does run until the beginning of June, and whips are allowed. So if you already have one on the needles, you finish it before this cowl ends, you can enter that. There will be prizes, and we haven't really worked all that out, but we got plenty of time. But this is my sweater. I have so much done. I am doing the Cartwheels sweater by Rita Taylor. And look at this. This is the back. Oh my gosh. You guys, I love it. Look how pretty that is. I started this January 1st, and I have the back piece done, or this could be the front piece. Honestly, it could, they're the same. So it could be the front or the back, but, and then I have the other piece started. So it is a bottom up seamed sweater. Here's my progress on the second piece. There are, oh, that's the right side. Fun detail in the ribbing. A progress keeper from Lindsay of Simply Serving on there. The yarn I'm using is Knit Picks Wool of the Andes, worsted weight in Icicle Heather. So it's worsted weight that's made it go even quicker. Such a good blue. That's very color accurate on camera. But I have been completely obsessed. Like I said, started this January 1st, finished this piece yesterday, January 9th. I have not been able to put it down. I hope my motivation, like everything, continues this way, because then I will actually have this done. I could have it done by before, you know, the spring weather hits. Maybe I could actually even wear it this year, but that's probably asking a lot, because I do still have the whole back or front piece, whatever, and then 2 sleeves, and then seaming it, which I think is will end up being my hold up and getting it done. But man, I have loved the process of this. Absolutely loved it. So good. So this is what has gotten a ton of work. I've been working on this in the mornings for my 30 minutes of knitting most mornings. In the afternoons, it's definitely not something that I work on while we're watching TV. But if I have time where I can focus on it, because I'm terrified of making a mistake, I'm not super experienced with cable projects like this. So if I make a mistake in, you know, this cabled portion, trying to drop back down and fix it would, well, I think I could do it. It would be challenging for me to do it. It's always a learning experience though, but I'm just trying not to make a huge mistake. So far, so good. Hopefully it keeps going that way. So this is what has been getting a ton of work. I think I'm knitting the size large. It'll be on my Ravelry project page. So I'm hoping it'll be a little oversized. It does have some positive ease in it, and I want more of an oversized fit. So hopefully that'll be good. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I'm following the pattern exactly, making no modifications, using the needles called for in the pattern, all of that. All right, I have 2 other things that I've actively been working on. This is another bag by Mountain State Stitches. This is from quite a while ago. And I have in here some dishcloths. So I had started last year some dishcloths out of this color. This is the Knit Picks Dishy. It's their 100% cotton yarn. This is in the, I think it's pronounced Kenai, Kenai colorway. And I have some finished that I had started and finished last year. And then this has just been sitting in this bag, waiting for me to keep knitting. So this is the Grandma's, it's by PJ Allen, Grandma's dishcloth, favorite dishcloth, Grandma's second favorite dishcloth. Ravelry project pages, again, I have one for just dishcloths, it says, and it has all the details. It's been open for forever, just kind of their because these are kind of just an ongoing thing I like to work on. Unfortunately, I did not work on them last year, so I had none to gift for Christmas for the first time in ages, and I was pretty bummed that I fell off the wagon with that kind of tradition, I guess, and couldn't gift them to everyone. But I'm determined to stay on track with that this year. This bag is actually gonna go in my Jeep, and Wyatt I talked on Vlogmas about his rehearsals, and days have gotten switched for those. So his rehearsal for group rehearsal for School of Rock is on a Tuesday. So I will be taking him down, it's down towards Cincinnati on a Tuesday right after school, and he has an, how long is this practice? An hour and a half practice. And this is all I'm gonna have with me. I'll probably end up having socks in my purse because I do like 95% of the time. But this is gonna be what I work on dishcloths during that hour and a half. And I think that'll let me keep making some progress on these throughout the year. That'll add up. And we'll see what I have at the end of the year. I need some new ones as well. Mine are looking pretty rough. So I imagine family is looking pretty rough as well. Here's one that I have in progress. I've started the decreases. So this pattern is free on Ravelry. I'm doing the no holes version. There's a version that has holes, but I'm following the instructions for no holes. You start down here, increase, and then you decrease back down. I'm using ChowGoo, as always, US 8 5mm. I think that's what's called for in the pattern. And I'm just following the pattern exactly as far as how big I am making them. I have in here, what I'd been doing is using up, I bought a bunch of Dishy year before last, maybe now. I've been using up one color as much as I can get. And then like, say I was out at this point, I would just finish it off with some gray Dishy. I don't remember what the color name is, if it's just gray or what, but just finish it up with this. That's worked out pretty well, and then I can use up every last bit of these colors. And gray goes with everything. My next one after I finish the Kanai, because that's the last skein of it, is this black. This is Dishy Twist. So I'm gonna use up this next. All right, just one more project to talk about. This is in a bag from Cabana Berry Designs. And it's somewhat like starting to outgrow the bag a little bit. I'm determined to keep it in this bag. This is one of my advent calendars. So if you watched Vlogmas, you know I had 4 advent calendars that I was opening up daily and showing the minis from, and I started projects with 2 of those. The other one was the Blush Yarns Advent, and I did start a habitation throw, but I have not, while I've been working on it here and there, it's not something that's been a consistent work on daily or even every other day. So I didn't bring it up to show. I have kind of shifted my focus to finishing up this Moonglow Yarn Co. Advent project that I'm gonna show you here. And then I think I'll grab the Blush Yarns back out and start working through that Advent calendar. Just do one at a time, that way I can have some other projects that I'm working on, but I am trying not to cast on a crazy amount of things in the start of this year. We'll see how long it lasts, but that's what we're doing so far. So this is my Moonglow Yarn Co. Advent project. This is a cowl. I'll show you here and then we'll talk more about it. Give you a little bit of a close-up. So the pattern for this, I believe it is the Wallop Cowl. Project pages, again, it's linked there. And I'm following the pattern, but kind of loosely. So I did cast on the same amount in the pattern. It's a paid for pattern, I'm almost positive, so I'm not gonna give away details. But I did the cast on the same amount. But then her transitions from color to color, change. Some she just knits. There's no kind of thing here when it changes. It's just knit and you just start the next color and you're knitting. Some she does different things. I probably shouldn't give them away because it is a paid for pattern, but there is a section of the cowl that she does these eyelets. And I just loved the look of that section the most. So I thought, let's just do that for every transition. So that is what I've done. And you cast on with a provisional cast on. So once I'm done with all 25, right? I believe there's 25. I'll go back and graft them together, and then it'll be able to be wrapped around quite a few times, at least 2, I'm guessing probably 3 as long as it's gonna be, and it'll be nice and warm around my neck. It is double thick already because I'm knitting it in the round. I had started this magic loop and was quickly getting annoyed knitting this magic loop. So I switched to 16-inch circulars and it's been perfect. These are ChowGoo. I know they say, oh, there it is. US 5, 3.75 millimeter. Yeah, loving it. I love those eyelets. I will 100% do this pattern again, for sure. I think this would be an amazing, amazing gift, whether just using scraps or mini skein sets, whatever you wanted. I think it would be great. And you could really like customize this to do a size you wanted. Like if you, get it around there, just wanted one that you could pull around once, you could do it whatever length you wanted. Mine will be super long because I'm using an advent calendar that has, I'm almost positive it's 25. I'm not using all of the yarn. I think this pattern was written for a 10-gram mini skein advent calendar. These are 20 grams, so I'm only using about half. I can't remember if the pattern tells you, I haven't even looked at the pattern since I started. I just looked at the very beginning, but I can't remember if it tells you like a certain amount of rows to do or use up your entire mini skein or what, but I think I'm doing 23 rows and then changing colors. So fun, easy. This has been super mindless. I've been working on this a lot in the evenings when we watch TV. I have all of this is my leftovers after I add the mini in. I put it back in its little bag that it came in and stick it in here. I have no clue what I will do with these. Sarah in my knit group suggested heels, toes, and cuffs for socks, which I think would actually be really great. And I can't believe I didn't think of that because they're all tonals. So I could match them with so many different things to use them up. So that might be what I do with that. Oh no, I'm unwinding the mini. Okay. That is all that I've been working on. I've been itching to get out my Cozy Memories, my crochet granny stripes. I have not touched those in almost a year. During the summer, I just really fell off of even wanting to work on them. In the spring, I think is when that started. But I feel like winter has finally hit here. We had such warm weather for so long, and now winter really feels like it's here. So I've been wanting to work on those again. I haven't pulled them out because, like I said, this cabled sweater is all I've wanted to work on. But I am feeling the pull to my scrappy blankets again. I'm feeling like I need to use up some scraps, some minis. I've really got to start using those up. Speaking of, I have some mini skeins that came in the mail. They're just so fun. So I need to show you those. This is the row 1 yarn subscription. I can't not get these because they're just so much fun, but I've got to start using them and doing some scrappy things with them and really working through them. I actually have 2 projects that I am eyeing. Let me show you this and then I'll pull up my Ravelry and show you the ones I'm wanting to do to use up some scraps and minis. So the Row 1 Yarn subscription is a monthly subscription service for mini skeins. She does a different yarn dyer each month. They are all just so amazing and so well put together. There's always a little thing here with some details. You always get a little treat. Got a York. Love these. I love anything like minty and peppermint chocolate. Always get a Progress Keeper. This is 2022. I think there was the 2021 one last year, so that's fun. Then there's always a sheet of paper that tells you who the yarn dyer is, a little bit about the yarn dyer, and lists all of the colorway names. So this yarn dyer is 398 hand-dyed yarns. I've never heard of them. It's so fun to me to get this because a lot of the times it's somebody I've never even heard of. So then I can try out their yarn and have a new yarn dyer to follow and be tempted by all of their beautiful yarns. And this is no exception. These are gorgeous. So $3.98 is all of these mini skeins. I'm gonna leave them in the bag, so there will be a little bit of a glare, but and one of my favorite things about Row 1 is that she puts labels on each mini skein. So this way, if I pull out a bunch of these packs to work from for a project and I get to a color and I just absolutely love it, I can tell what it is. I just think that's so great because I've done some subscription services before and they don't have the tags. So then if you pull it back out, you have no clue what yarn dyer it was unless you have an amazing memory, and I do not. So a lot of them I've just thrown into a big basket and now I have no clue what the yarn dyer was because they didn't have a label on them. So that's one of my favorite things about this. Another favorite thing is that they're ready to go. While those mini skeins are cute that are wrapped like a traditional skein of yarn, wrapped up like this, you then have to wind them. And winding yarn is my least favorite part of the entire process. 100% least favorite. So the fact that these are ready to go, I think is amazing. You can just grab them and add them in and not have to wind your yarn first, unless you prefer to work from a ball, but they're just ready to go. So that's all I've received in the mail. I received some things throughout December and I think even like very after Vlogmas in very early January. But like I said, we're starting with a clean slate. So I'm just showing you what I've received this past week that came in the mail. So the couple of projects that I'm really wanting to work on with mini skeins, let me pull up my Ravelry. Wrong thing. Okay, here we go. So I saw that Allison of Lofty Loops was knitting the Wrap It Real Good by Amba O'Brien. And this is, it calls for DK weight. So I'm thinking I could use fingering weight held double. And I might actually do this with one of my advent calendars that I have left. It won't be until I'm only gonna start one of these at a time, I think. I'm not gonna overwhelm myself because I have 3 other scrappy projects. I have the Moonglow Yarn Co. Advent going. I did start the blush yarns, so it won't be until the Moonglow and blush yarns are done. But this is kind of future dream knitting, sharing fun patterns with you in case you haven't done your Advent either, or you have a lot of scraps, mini skeins, stuff like that. Anyways, it is Wrap It Real Good by Amba O'Brien. Find a good picture here. I'll link this down below as well, but doesn't that look so fun? And I would do fingering weight held double. I don't have a ton of DK weight scraps, so. But yeah, this is on my radar for probably using up probably the Superfine Yarn Co-Advent. I think I have something I'm gonna do with the Homespun House. I might do another one of the Wallop Cows with that as a gift, or for a gift. I'm also looking at the Sea Glass sweater by Wool and Pine. She did a reel on her Instagram. I shared it in my stories this morning, but talking about like what yarn should you use in this. Use all the yarn, she said. And this is for DK weight as well. So I could do fingering weight minis or scraps, hold them double, and use up so much yarn and just make it completely scrappy. I think I would use just I have some undyed like white off-white type of yarn that I think I would just use for the cuffs, and then go crazy with scraps or minis. So those two were on my radar for using up some minis or scraps. So all right, that's it for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed my stats from 2021, hearing about those and what I've been working on. I hope that you were all doing well, that you had a great holiday season, and we'll see what the schedule's like going into this year with podcasting. I'm thinking probably every other week will work good, and that's what we were doing before Vlogmas, I think. But yeah, I'm thinking every other week I'll sit down, share what I've been working on and all of that. So I'll probably see you all in a couple of weeks. Until then, happy knitting. Bye.